My name's Laurilee Thompson, and I'm a co-owner of Dixie Crossroads Seafood Restaurant in Titusville, Florida. We're not unlike a lot of other restaurants. The restaurants are community gathering places. So Dixie Crossroads has been a big part of the North Brevard community for many, many years. Over the years, the reputation, the word got out, that we were very serious about providing fresh, local seafood and good quality seafood, to our guests. And that's what people expect. When tourists come to Florida, they think any seafood restaurant they go into, they think they're getting fresh local seafood. And that's simply not the case. I lived on the lagoon from the time I was about 2 years old until I was 13 years old. My family lived right on the shore of the lagoon. My grandfather operated the Titusville fishing pier, and my dad had a little boat dealership that was right next to the pier. The lagoon is my whole life. I'm in a restaurant. I'm in the tourism business. So clean water in the lagoon is important for our tourism economy. Throughout my entire life, my way of making a living and my quality of life has depended on a healthy lagoon. What's been tragic in my lifetime is watching the waters of the lagoon as they deteriorated, was watching the commercial fishing industry die. When I was a kid in the 1950s, there were so many fish in the Indian River Lagoon. The fishermen didn't even have motors. They rowed their nets out in skiffs with oars. When you consider our nation's food supply, it's important that we restore our estuaries. But there's also the impacts to tourism and to home values. If we don't seriously address the problems that are happening in the Indian River Lagoon, it will bring our community's economy down, because it's going to affect tourism. It's going to impact our community's quality of life. It's going to affect our ability to attract good businesses to come to our community. We got people that are working really, really hard, trying to bring manufacturing here, trying to bring space business here. But what CEO is going to want to invest in bringing a business to a community that doesn't even care enough about its biggest asset to take care of that asset? And what homeowner is going to want to come and spend money and buy a home that's next to a body of water that stinks and has dead fish washing up in your yard all the time? We're fortunate to have a body of water that takes up like a third of the entire coastline of the state of Florida. And it involves at least 5 different counties. Their economies depend on the lagoon. So the problems that they are seeing down in Martin County, they're different than the issues that we're seeing up here in the northern end by Titusville. But as a whole, as one community, these 5 counties that are up and down the Indian River Lagoon, we all have to work together so that we can fix the lagoon. And so some people think that the problem is so big that they can't do anything to change it. They say, what can I possibly do? It's huge. It covers 5 counties. What can I possibly do to help? But there's a lot of things that people can do to help. The reason the lagoon got the way it did is because there's a lot of people here. Who wouldn't want to live here? This is paradise. But every time a new person comes in, we need to educate. If you have a new neighbor that moved in, go over and talk to them about the lagoon and not fertilizing from June to September during the rainy season. And, all these little things that they can do that will help lessen their impact on the lagoon. So we all need to join forces and do everything that we can and bring back the lagoon, because when we reach that point, everybody has won. The homeowners win, the real estate industry wins, the tourism industry wins, the waters will be clear for the kayak guides to take their guests out on the water. Everybody wins.